Hello guys, my story is about the Franklin Tale presented by Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Boy. So the Franklin Tale begins with the courtship of the Britain knight Arviragus and Dorigen, who came to be married happily. However, soon after their marriage, Arviragus was sent away to Britain to work for 2 years. Dorigen wept for his absence despite the letters that he sent home to her. However, although her friends comforting eventually started to work, Dorigen remained distressed by the grisly black rocks visible from the cliffside near to the shore. Her friends seeing how terribly Dorigen feared that whatever ship brought her husband home would crash on these rocks and sink provided further distractions. Hmm. One day, her friends had organized a party and a dance in a beautiful garden. Here is a garden. Uh, it was at this dance that Aurelius and Dorigen, Aurelius a squire, danced in front of Dorigen, who was as fresh and well dressed as the month of May. His singing and dance were better than any man's, and he was one of the most handsome men alive. Aurelius had been in love with her for 2 years but had never dared tell her how he felt. It was during the dancing and that Aurelius addressed Dorigen, wishing that he and not her husband had been sent across the sea before begging her to have mercy on him and revealing his love. Dorigen telling him that she would never be an untrue wife and had no intention of cuckolding her husband. And then Dorigen added she would be Aurelius' love on the day that all of the rocks were removed from the coast as a joke. This made Aurelius sick heavily. Madame, he said, this were an impossibility. The dance ended and the guests went home except for poor, sorrowful Aurelius, who fell to his knees and holding his hands to heaven prayed to the gods for mercy. Arviragus then returned from abroad and Dorigen was delighted to have him back. 2 years passed and Aurelius lay in torment and without comfort except that is for his brother a clerk who suggested that he meet a student of law at Orleans who was versed in the science of illusion and magic. Heading toward Orleans, the two came across a young clerk roaming by himself who greeted them in Latin and claimed to know why they came. And before they went a step further, he told them exactly what they were traveling to achieve. Aurelius leaped down from his horse and went with this man to his house, where he fed them and showed them wondrous illusions of various kinds. The man eventually agreed to remove the rocks from the coast for £1,000. Fight on £1,000, responded Aurelius. Never mind £1,000, I give you the wide world and promise to pay the man. The next morning the man made it so that for a week or two it would appear that the rocks had vanished. Hmm. Aurelius, who now knew that there was no obstacle to his deal with Dorigen, said gratefully prayers and eventually came to his lady and explained to her in courtly formal terms how he had fulfilled their bargain. She stood astonished, never thinking that such an occasion could arise, and went home despairing. When Arviraga returned home and Dorigen told him the truth of what had happened, he told that he will bear the shame of her actions and that adhering to her promise is the most important thing. He therefore sent her to submit Aurelius. When Aurelius learned how well Arviragus had accepted his wife's promise, Aurelius decided to let Dorigen's promise to go unfulfilled, refusing to break the married couple's truths. He claims that a squire can indeed be as honorable as a knight. Aurelius then went to pay the love student, even though his affair remained unconsummated, and the man forgave Aurelius' debt, proving himself honorable.